Hi, it's Jamie with Jamie's Arts a la Cartes. Thank you very much for joining me. I have a fun project planned for us today. I hope this video inspires you to create something of your own. If you would, hit the like button and share the video with your friends. That helps me to grow this channel and to continue to bring you new projects. If you haven't subscribed yet, would you please consider subscribing? And if you have, thank you very much. Well, we have a lot to do, so let's get to it. Hi, it's Jamie with Jamie's Arts a la Cartes. Thank you so much for joining me. I've got another wedding project. I'm going to make some wristlets. And so I bought these bases. I've got a few of the flowers left. You're going to see how I'm going to dress these up just a little different. And I'm going to go with red, or it's burgundy and navy. But what I'm going to do is I want them to have the blue, I want them to have this white. So ones that don't have it, I'm going to go to the red ones, and I'll just pull the white off so that I can use them again, right? Put them on the blue and then use them. But let's open these up, and then I'll show you how I'm going to dress up these centers. We'll get the centers done, and we will let them dry. Slide both of those off. Put the leaf back on. This is me just making them interchangeable. And then here, got to cut off that little end piece again. So if something doesn't quite look the way you want, see if you've got the pieces, and maybe you can create it by, you know, just taking one thing off of one bush, put it on another. All right, and then the leaves. And then you come up with that, and then we'll put the centers in there. All right, let me get these glued up and get them dry, and then I will come back to you. All right, got all my flowers prepped up. Did change my mind. Originally I was going to use a large burgundy rose, but it seemed too tall, too overwhelming for the wristlet, so I went with a bud, and that will sit better. We'll find out here in a minute, because I'm about to start gluing stuff on there, but everything is dry and ready to go. Yeah, 4 burgundies. And right before I glue these on, and I took this plastic part off because, again, I want it to sit down flat as possible, right? And I'm going to even snip this off right when I'm putting the glue on there. But I'm going to begin by covering, comes with this little base. I'm going to cover this base in greenery. I'm going to glue it pretty well. And I think I'm going to put to here and then glue to there. Let's see, how does that look? Yeah, because I don't want it to be too much on the wrist. Now to be just about right. Watched a lot of videos. I'm just taking, this is literally how long it is in that large strand. So basically just give it a couple, I'm leaving just a couple twists for this one, and then take my pliers and bend it down and around so that I keep that twist in there. And that sort of is my anchor. Again. Sometimes designs have to be fluid like that. You have an idea in your head, and then when you try to make it in the real world, sometimes it works. And if it flops over, I'm just going to stabilize it with hot glue. But as you're seeing a vision in your head, maybe it works in the real world, and maybe it doesn't. Okay, those all look fine. Okay. These belong here. That would be the art glitter glue. And basically I just take these stamens, bend them in half, and if they're not perfectly level, that's even better. Give it a twist. The twist doesn't stay all the way, but what it does is it gives you a good solid place to put your glue. So then just get your glue to come out. There it is. And just lather it in glue. And then I find the most center part of the flower, stick it down in there until it's almost completely supported by the petals, and then give it a good squeeze, and that coats all of them in the glue. And then for this little doodad, I'm going to put a little bit of glue up here because it has a hole, kind of like a bead, with the wire through it. So I'm going to put just a tiny little bit of glue up there where it goes through the crystal, and then down both sides of the wire, and then gently come in here without trying to smear my glue everywhere, and seat it down in there. Again, give it a squeeze, and there we are. We'll set it over to the side and let it dry. All right, 2 more times, and then we are caught up, and we'll be able to go back to that one. But we needed these to be drying, so that's why I paused. Okay, progress. Whoops, that one fell right down in there. So get our pliers and pull it back up. There we go. I'm thinking, should I put a white flower in the center? Right, again on either side of that crystal, and then down the wire, both sides, most likely to help it to hold in place. And then just in there where we have those stamens, squeeze it, and there we have it. Definitely have to let it dry. Alright. I'm going to go see if I have any white roses left and see what that would look like. Which means I probably should pull that thing out. Well, it's there. We'll have to work around it. This one didn't gather as nice as the others. That's okay. Kind of gives me extra points for it to latch onto again. I'm going to go find a center spot like that. Squeeze it. I want that to go down in there a little bit. Okay. And if it doesn't want to twist there on the ends, those really dent it, just bend it. It's just wire. All right. Voila. Squeeze it, get that glue. Here we go. Just let it set to the side. Always clean off my tip before I put my cap back on there. All right, I'm going to go find some white ones and see if I have white ones. If I do, I'm going to see what it looks like in there. Okay, be right back. All right, I did have some white roses. Good old Dollar Tree to the rescue from my stash. I feel like they're a little bit big. I wonder, can I? I'm gonna pull one apart. I have more if it fails, and it could be a fail. You just never know. Okay, I'm gonna take this big petal off. All right, definitely we'll use that for something else. Put this back on there, and let's see what we got. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to, a way you can make your flowers seem just a little bit smaller, if you ever would need that. Usually you want them bigger, but in this particular case I want them to be closer to a bud than a full bloom flower. So I'm just going down here by this little thing that holds it into place and putting a little bit of hot glue, and then I'm going to cinch it together, right? And then see what we've got. I think this would be wasted on these. Maybe not. Let's see, what else do we have? We have these we're going to use. I'll come back to those if we need it, but I definitely want this doodad to come out. Is it going to? There it is. And I definitely want to put this way down in there. Something like that. Okay, let's glue that in place. Alright, I want to add little something up here. Let's see what we got. One, two, one, two, three. We have extras of those and these. Let's see if we can just, what would this look like? A couple of those, maybe that. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see. Oh, there's some. Hmm. Well, there we are. Now I just got to make 3 more of them and then glue them to the bases. How about that? All right, we've got 3 of the 4 made, and I was toying with ideas how I'm going to get the floral. Worried that E6000 won't hold, and I don't want it to fail in the middle of a wedding, so I'm literally going to sew it to this plastic thing. There are holes on either end, so I went and found my green heavy duty thread, so I may just glue or sew it to the sides. My husband had suggested wire, but I was worried that it would be uncomfortable on someone's wrist, so I think that's how we'll finish these. But I have 1 more to build, so here we go. And I'm going to just find a spot where I can hide a knot. Now, I go over. Alright, it looks like these are dry. So let's flip them over and see what we've got. That looks good on the back. And there's the front. How pretty is that? Let's unclip them. Well, this is our first go at creating wristlets. Let's use this bracelet thing. This is called a wristlet because it's a flower that you wear on your wrist. And I gotta kind of fluff this one a little bit. Looks very nice. Because they've been face down while they're drying. How pretty is that? And these will spread out, right? Very nice. And I cut the ribs away so that it's smoother on your skin. How pretty are these? And I will give them a double take, looking for like any little webbing from the glue gun, but they look good. I use clips to hold them all in place. How about that? I'm really pleased with how they turned out. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, like it, share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, would you please consider subscribing? And well, until next time, happy crafting. I'll bring you in, I'll get some close-ups. These turned out really, really nice. They're very, very pretty. Very elegant. Okay, until next time, y'all.